Today in crypto, have the bears regained control of the Bitcoin markets? And could we be ready for some very big price pain? European banks are robbing their customers again. The ECB says another 1.5 trillion euros will be needed for the crisis, and the economic forecast for the global economy is looking pretty gosh darn grim. The Crypto Lark. This is where you subscribe for all of the hottest and all of the latest happening in the wild lands of crypto. By the way, if you are a crypto beginner and you still need help figuring out all of the basics about Bitcoin, then check out my course, Cryptocurrency Explained. It will take you step by step into the exciting world of cryptocurrency investing. There's a link down below where you can learn more. So let's go ahead and take a dive into the charts real quick to start off today's conversation. So that Bitcoin bear flag, which has really been trending for a while now, seems to be playing out at the moment with a big break downwards today. Now, such a move could actually send the price of Bitcoin much lower in the short term. Now, I doubt if we would see the price go back under the 200-week moving average, which is currently sitting around the $5,700 mark. That's really a key line in the sand for support, but we could be in for some price pain, more painful than we are seeing at the moment. You know, all of this positive price action we've seen recently, I think that it has led many people to forget that we are still below the key moving averages. I mean, just look over on the daily. So the 50-day moving average, just look at it. We're still well below that. And it's actually super fascinating to see the 50-day moving average acting as such a strong line of resistance for the price of Bitcoin right now. Now, considering just how much the market is currently respecting the 50-day moving average, I think that that's going to be a key line of not only resistance, but of support when we cross over it. So we really need to see a strong close with good volume above $7,150, which of course would just be above that 50-day moving average. And can we all just decide to get really bullish when that happens? That'd be great, guys. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. But until then, walk softly and carry a big stick because it is bear country out there, and those bears are hungry for your cheap Bitcoin. Do not be bear food. They will gobble you up. Stack, sats, and chill. Anyway, this bearish sentiment is definitely dominating the mind of investors right now. And just look at the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. It is showing a 10 today, and that the market is still gripped by extreme fear. Great times for bears, bad time for bulls. And obviously, considering the wider economic situation, I'm not surprised. Maybe investors are just in a state of disbelief. Bitcoin's going to go to the moon really soon. But look, while the global markets remain so tenuous, we will continue to be gripped by fear. Bitcoin believers, they just continue to stack sats and chills though. The number of Bitcoin addresses holding one or more coins actually just reached another all-time high of 803,811 addresses. Please see past the short-term fear. Look farther down the road. Look where Bitcoin is going to be in 5 years, not in 5 days. The Bitcoin halving, it's only 30 days away. And while the day itself will probably be a very big non-event, the long-term impact of the Bitcoin halving, that is huge. Just remember that demand is increasing all of the time for Bitcoin. We actually see this across a lot of different address variations. 0.1 Bitcoin addresses are also at new all-time highs, for example, as well as big holders too. The daily creation of Bitcoin is about to drop from 1,800 down to 900. Just imagine what this will do for the price. Demand is increasing, supply is going down. Yes, short term, we still have a lot of uncertainty, but I remain incredibly bullish on the big picture for Bitcoin. A big thank you to AAX Exchange for sponsoring today's episode. Now, AAX is powered by the same technology used by the London Stock Exchange. AAX also offers a great range of crypto assets to trade either on spot or on margin. And now they are about to have a flash sale for their AAB token. Now, the token is a must-have for anyone who's planning on using the AAX exchange. The token will offer up to 50% off on fees, higher interest rates for lending and borrowing products on the exchange, as well as access to unique financial instruments like security tokens and commodities, which will be listed in the future, as well as access to bots and signals and a whole host of other VIP services. Also, all revenue from their futures exchange is used to buy back and to burn the AAB token until 50% of the total token supply is burned. And tomorrow they'll be hosting a crazy flash sale for the token. So 50% of all successful buyers will get their USDT refunded back to them, and they will get to keep their tokens for free. Sweet deal. There is a link down below where you can learn more or go and grab yourself some tokens. Okay, on to the big stories of the day. And let's start off over in Germany. A grand total of 80 banks over in Germany are now charging negative interest rates as the crisis continues to grind on and to deepen in Germany. While the majority of these banks are only stealing from bigger account holders, 16 of these banks are also stealing from smaller depositors. And yes, it is theft. Make no mistake about it. The number of banks robbing their clients has doubled since February. The official policy of the bank to rob their own damn clients. It's crazy. Now, the rate is only small at the moment. It's only 0.5% that the banks are stealing from customers right now, but it sets a very, very bad precedent. And as the crisis worsens, this number is likely to increase. And if you live in a country that's not Germany, and maybe you don't have negative interest rates yet, especially ones that are being passed on to you by your bank, just remember what's happening right now. Banks are proving they are more than happy to pass this on to you and to loot your bank account to cover their butts. Remember, no one will ever take your Bitcoin out of your account. It is real wealth protection. And oh yeah, okay, sure, maybe you can say, but Lark, the price of Bitcoin is going to go down soon. You were just talking about how the bears are in charge of the market. I'm going to lose a lot more than 0.5% if I buy Bitcoin now. Big picture, big picture. You could even consider, for example, stable coins. Just look at the rates for lending them out. They range from like 8 to 12%, and they can be crypto collateral stable coins. It's way, way better than being drained of your wealth in the bank. It's the whole damn corrupt system. Bitcoin is checking out of that corrupt system. That is the point. You're not contributing to this corruption and this insanity anymore when you buy Bitcoin and you hold your own Swiss bank in your pocket. Okay, let's move on to another story out of Europe. So the EU has agreed to a 500 billion euro coronavirus rescue package. But the European Central Bank says that 1.5 trillion will be needed. Did you hear that? Another 1.5 trillion euros will likely be needed on top of this 500 billion that has already been agreed upon. Did you hear that? No, seriously, what was the sound? Did you guys hear that? Am I going crazy here? Wait. Oh, now I get it. That's the European Central Bank printers gearing up to print the euro into oblivion. I mean, really, how else do you think that the ECB is going to come up with 500 billion euros overnight? They're broke. They're broke. All of the banks in Europe are broke. This isn't coming from a savings account. None of these banks across Europe or the European Central Bank, they don't have rainy day funds. It's all just print, 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 print. It's crazy. What a position these banks force you into. They steal a little bit from you each year with negative rates, and they steal a little bit more each year with inflation. The game is rigged, folks. Heads, the banks win. Tails, the banks win. It's funny that so many, normies out there see holding Bitcoin as some kind of really big risk. The real risk is not holding Bitcoin. Fiat is not the safe haven that many people imagine it to be. It is a slow motion train wreck. Bank bailouts, so the banks never lose. Bank bail-ins to rob you, so that the banks never lose. Banks increase fees and decrease services. They never lose. Only you lose. Negative rates, so the banks never lose. Inflation and fractional reserve lending, the banks just never lose. They keep on winning, and you as a consumer usually keep on losing. How's that old saying go? If you have a gun, you can rob a bank, but if you have a bank, you can rob everyone. Now moving on. Credit Suisse says that the U.S. economy will shrink by a shocking 33.5% next quarter. This is the biggest drop in history. Now, for context, the worst quarter of 2008 suffered only an 8.4% drop. The total expected drop for 2020 will be around 5.3%, assuming that we will see recovery later in the year, which is still twice as bad as 2008. And of course, it's not just the USA that's getting hit. A UN study has said that currently 81% of the world's workforce, or 3.3 billion people, have had their place of work fully or partially closed because of the outbreak. Those are insane numbers, beyond a doubt. In total, over 170 countries will experience negative per capita income growth this year in what is anticipated to be the worst economic fallout since the Great Depression. Oxfam is predicting that by the time the pandemic has finished, that over half of the world's population of 7.8 billion people could be living in poverty. This is grim, this is dark, this is serious, this is economic, just total catastrophe right here. And I bring this up because I want you to keep in mind that markets can get way, way worse before they get any better. To an extent, I think that a lot of investors right now are living in a false sense of safety. They see the central banks coming in and think, well, they're going to save us, it's all going to be fine. The worst effects of this crisis could still be to come economically, and that is really important for us to understand as crypto investors because Bitcoin has been following the traditional markets very, very closely. So stay frosty, everyone. It's bear country out there. Be careful. Now, those, of course, are just my 2 Satoshis. As always, I would love to know, what do you think? Will the economic element of this crisis get way, way worse? And if so, will Bitcoin be pulled down with the wider markets, or will we actually see Bitcoin breaking away? Have we moved past the liquidity crisis portion of this crisis, and now we're moving into the inflationary part of the crisis where Bitcoin will shine a light across the land? Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, hit that thumbs up button, and of course subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.